Once you cross the age of 60, your physical form doesn't actually require extended periods of rest, but rather the correct type of everyday physical activity. And the true secret behind the enduring strength of elderly Japanese citizens isn't found in grueling fitness regimens, but rather in a set of 5 straightforward exercises they perform daily to safeguard their joints, preserve their equilibrium, and maintain their autonomy. You can view this as a miniature daily regimen designed to ensure your hips, knees, spinal column, and feet continue functioning exactly as nature intended. Because when these physical systems remain fully operational, you retain the capacity to walk greater distances, navigate staircases with self-assurance, and rise from the ground without any apprehension. Throughout numerous regions in Japan renowned for longevity, physical exertion is seamlessly integrated into standard daily routines, characterized by its gentle yet unwavering consistency, which happens to be precisely what the vast majority of individuals over 60 truly require. Low-intensity movement patterns that preserve joint mobility, activate stabilizing muscle groups, and promote continuous healthy blood circulation. The most appealing aspect of this approach is that it requires absolutely no specialized exercise equipment, specific athletic attire, or a costly gym membership, allowing you to complete the entire sequence in the comfort of your own home within a compact area in approximately 10 minutes. Before we dive into the exercises, please heed this brief advisory. Execute all motions at a sluggish pace. Maintain a natural breathing rhythm and ensure your exertion remains well within a comfortable threshold, aiming to experience muscular warmth and deliberate control rather than any acute piercing pain. Furthermore, relying on a sturdy chair for balance is a highly intelligent strategy rather than a sign of physical weakness. And if you happen to suffer from intense bouts of dizziness, chest discomfort, or are currently recovering from a recent surgical procedure, you must prioritize the medical advice provided by your healthcare professional. Proceeding to the first movement, which we call the ankle and toe activator. We target the feet because they serve as your foundational base, and weakened ankles are a massive contributing factor to unexpected falls. To perform this, position yourself behind a supportive chair. Grip it with a light touch. Elevate your body onto your tiptoes for a brief moment, and then lower your heels back down with meticulous control. And after completing a few repetitions of this, shift your weight backward onto your heels to raise your toes off the floor, eventually transitioning into unhurried ankle rotations in both clockwise and counterclockwise directions, as if you were calmly sketching a perfect circle using your big toe. The second exercise is the hip hinge drill, a movement that trains your physique in the absolute safest method for bending over and picking objects up while simultaneously shielding your lower back from injury. To do this, stand perfectly upright, allow your knees to bend slightly, and drive your hips backward as if you were trying to push a car door shut using only your backside, making sure to keep your spinal column elongated, and then return to a tall standing posture, which should allow you to feel the muscular engagement primarily in your hips and hamstrings, rather than placing any strain on your lumbar region. Moving on to the third exercise, the assisted single leg stance. We focus on this because physical balance is a highly trainable skill that benefits from daily practice. Position yourself next to your support chair. Transfer your entire body weight onto one standing leg, and elevate the opposite foot merely an inch above the ground. Maintaining a tall posture with your gaze fixed straight ahead while breathing deeply, then alternate to the other leg, keeping in mind that with consistent daily practice, you will gradually require less hand support, a progression that directly results in fewer real-world stumbles. The fourth component is the spinal rotation and reach, which serves as a soothing mobility drill designed to keep your upper back and shoulder joints highly supple so that ordinary daily chores remain effortless. Whether you choose to sit or stand, Extend your arms straight out in front of you. Twist your rib cage to one side as if you are attempting to peer over your own shoulder. Then fluidly return to the center and reach your arms forward and slightly upward, as if you are expanding your chest cavity, before repeating the entire sequence on the opposite side. The fifth and final core movement is the chair rise, often considered the ultimate exercise for retaining personal independence, because possessing the ability to stand up smoothly means you are simultaneously conditioning your legs, hips, and core muscles. Seat yourself on a reliable chair with your feet positioned directly beneath your knees. Lean your torso forward just a fraction. Drive your weight forcefully through the entirety of your feet to stand up tall. And then lower yourself back into the seat with extreme deliberation without suddenly dropping your weight. Noting that if this proves too difficult initially, you can modify it by starting from a higher seating surface or lightly utilizing your hands for assistance, gradually decreasing this reliance over time. By executing these 5 specific actions every single day, you are going far beyond merely exercising. You are actively instructing your anatomy to remain steadfast, highly mobile, and completely self-assured, which perfectly explains why so many elderly Japanese citizens appear so remarkably effortless when they are out walking, tending to their gardens, or carrying heavy groceries, having diligently practiced these foundational physical skills for many years. Shortly, I will break down the exact sequence of this miniature routine, specify the precise number of repetitions you should aim for, highlight the 2 most significant errors that can render these movements completely ineffective, and provide a straightforward progression plan so you can continue to see improvements without ever pushing your body too far. Here is the exact daily miniature sequence you can easily follow. Keeping the structure as simple as possible, execute the exercises in this specific order, starting with the ankle and toe activator, progressing to the hip hinge, moving into the balance drill, following up with the spinal twist and reach, and concluding with the chair rise, primarily because this specific flow effectively warms up your bodily joints, engages your critical postural muscles, and finishes with the most vital strength-building exercise required for everyday life. For the initial ankle and toe activator, you should aim to complete 8 to 12 unhurried calf raises, followed by 8 to 12 toe elevations, and then 5 gentle circular ankle rotations in each direction per foot, making absolutely sure to move very slowly during the lowering phase of the exercise, because practicing control is exactly what builds functional stability. When performing the hip hinge, strive for 8 to 10 repetitions, focusing on the essential mental cue of driving your hips backward while keeping your chest held high and proud, ensuring your body weight is distributed evenly across your entire foot rather than being concentrated solely in your toes. If you happen to experience any discomfort in your lower back during this movement, simply reduce the depth of the hinge and make the motion significantly smaller until it feels completely comfortable. Regarding the assisted single leg stance, begin by holding the position for 10 to 20 seconds on each side. And if you find this relatively easy, resist the temptation to immediately jump to balancing with 0 support. Instead, try lightening the pressure of your fingertips on the back of the chair so that you are barely making contact, eventually progressing to a slight hover of the hand, or alternatively, introduce a safe challenge by slowly turning your head from left to right while maintaining your balance. Since real-world stability heavily involves continuous head movements, for the spinal twist and reach, execute 5 to 8 slow, controlled rotations per side, making a conscious effort to exhale your breath as you twist outward and inhale as you return to the starting position, as syncing your breath with the motion keeps the movement fluid and significantly reduces built-up tension in your neck and shoulder areas. During the chair rise exercise, aim for 6 to 10 highly controlled repetitions. using this specific movement as your personal quality assessment. If you are capable of standing up without relying on your hands and sitting back down silently without clumsily plopping into the seat, your leg muscles are successfully performing their required duties. However, if you still need to use your hands for assistance, absolutely use them, but make a concerted effort to push a little more weight through your legs with each passing week, even if it just means completing a single repetition with slightly less upper body help. We must now discuss the two most prevalent mistakes that can drastically reduce the effectiveness of these exercises, because correcting these specific errors is what will make the entire routine feel significantly easier and much safer within a matter of days. The very first mistake is rushing through the movements, particularly during the seemingly easier portions like the calf raises and the chair rises. Executing fast repetitions merely trains momentum, whereas slow, deliberate repetitions train the crucial muscular control that prevents dangerous falls and safeguards joints, meaning you should always move at a speed where you could instantly freeze and maintain perfect stability. The second major mistake is allowing your bodily posture to physically collapse, unknowingly reinforcing the negative patterns you are trying to escape. Throughout every exercise, actively maintain a lengthened spine, relaxed shoulders, and knees tracking in the same direction as your toes. Perhaps gently squeezing a small pillow between your knees during chair rises to enforce proper alignment. Within the first 2 weeks, you will likely feel much steadier stepping sideways, rise from a seated position with less physical strain, and notice your feet feel remarkably more energized. Remember, the ultimate objective is not physical exhaustion, but keeping your functional movement library razor sharp to prevent the gradual erosion of movement patterns. A highly safe progression strategy involves performing every movement with solid support and smaller ranges during week 1, adding a few seconds or an extra repetition during week 2, and from week 3 onwards, intentionally upgrading only one specific element at a time to ensure small, incremental progress without massive physical strain. Modify movements as needed. If you suffer from chronic knee pain, start chair rises from a higher seat and focus entirely on a slow sit-down phase. For lower back tightness, keep hip hinges extremely shallow. And if unsteady, perform the entire routine holding a sturdy counter. To permanently integrate this routine into your life, do not treat it as a grueling workout, but firmly attach it to mundane daily activities using the 3 daily anchors. Perform ankle activators when you wake up. Execute hip hinges or short balance holds while waiting for the kettle or microwave. And do your chair rises and spinal twists right before sitting down for the evening. A fantastic bonus movement for hip health and circulation is the gentle deep squat preparation. Holding a counter with feet wide, slowly bend your knees only as far as comfortable for 5 slow reps to keep your lower body lubricated. Determine your intensity using the talk test to ensure you can speak a full sentence, and the joint test to immediately stop if you feel sharp joint pain rather than normal muscle fatigue. Track your progress monthly via a 30-second chair rise count, a single leg balance timer, and an assessment of your overall walking confidence. On bad days, never completely break the chain. Intelligently adapt by doing fewer sets, moving slower, or focusing only on gentle stretches like the ankle wake-up and spinal twist. To multiply these positive effects, add a gentle 5 to 10-minute walk after your largest meal to aid circulation. And actively combat the fear of falling by practicing safe stepping, deliberately stepping forward, backward, and to the sides 10 times each while holding a counter to train your brain for real-world foot placement. Keep your eyes on the horizon, ribs stacked, and breathing steady. Your straightforward 7-day starter schedule blends these seamlessly. Days 1 and 2 focus on learning the core patterns with 5 to 10 reps each. Day 3 focuses on moving significantly slower to protect joints, Day 4 introduces the safe stepping balance practice. Day 5 adds posture-correcting shoulder blade squeezes. Day 6 adds an extra chair rise with a 1-second pause at the top. And Day 7 is for active recovery using only ankle drills, twists, and a short walk. Personalize this further by avoiding deep bends for arthritis, avoiding aggressive stretches for hip stiffness, skipping long breath holds for high blood pressure, and performing upper body work seated if prone to dizziness. If you only have 2 minutes, simply execute 5 chair rises and a few ankle circles to maintain your foundation. Ensure safety with non-slip surfaces, stop for chest pressure, and consider adding warm showers or hydration to make movement easier. If you sit frequently, do a 2-minute reset every hour with quick calf raises and twists. By maintaining this gentle consistency, you will feel drastically less stiffness in 10 days, move smoother in a month, and feel genuinely younger in 3 months. Never quit after a single week. Let time do the heavy lifting. Comment Daily 5 with your biggest physical challenge for a printable checklist. And subscribe or share to help others maintain their vital physical independence.